All right, guys. So I got some emails from a few students. You haven't figured this out. When you get a worksheet, if it's too far away to read, you want to make sure that you go to this magnifying glass tool up here. It's the zoom tool. You don't have to click on it, but that probably does work. If you hit this drop down and blow it up to 100%, that should make it clear enough to read for most people. So that's how you zoom in, and that's how you also will get your text boxes big enough to work with. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read each one of these sentences. If you need to pause as I go along, you can, but your job is to, as I read this, you are going to um, predict what this word maybe means on your own, make a guess essentially. And then after this, when you go through the textbook pages, you will have actual definitions of these words, and you can use those to fill in the actual meaning. So you may need to come back to this document as we read the story, but all of these words show up in the very first part of Beowulf. Actually, you know what? I think that may or may not be true. I think that is true. Anyway, I'm going to read this. So if you need to pause after I do this to ponder, you may, and then you can type in your predicted meaning. So I'm going to read this first part here. So, number one, the word is affliction. The long suffering Danes prayed that someone could kill the monster that was their affliction. So if you need to replay that, you can. I will not repeat it. You guys can always pause and rewind with these videos if you need to. But you are going to predict based on that reading, what do you think the word affliction means? And you will write it in here. Okay, so let's move on to two. Two, the hungry monster attacked the warriors, eager to gorge himself on their bodies. So, hint, that does sound like a verb in this instance. So, what does it mean to gorge based on that passage? Three, everyone had heard of the infamous Grendel. His evil deeds were well known. So, hint there, that word infamous sounds like some kind of adjective describing the character Grendel, who we will learn more about later. But what do you think that word means? Four, after seizing his prey, Grendel returned to his lair to devour it. So your word here is lair. What do you think that means? Five, the fierce hand-to-hand battle left Beowulf with a livid wound. So sounds like an adjective describing the word wound there. Your word is livid. Again, if I'm going too fast, you can pause it. Six, the moor where Grendel lived was so loathsome that no human could stand to go near it. Your word here is loathsome. 7. To help the Danes, Beowulf promised to purge the evil that was troubling them. Your word here is purge. Sounds like a verb, something Beowulf promised to do. Purge. 8. The monster used his sharp talon to scratch and tear his victims. The word there is talon. Sounds like a noun, something that was used by the monster, some sort of thing that the thing is using to do the thing. All right. So there you go. Put your predicted meanings in here. You can always rewind, replay each section if you need to. That is one of the beauties of doing it this way. And as you read, you can come back and you will write the actual meaning of the word.